Hello, I'm Mukala Kabongo, and on this edition of the LCTV News, we talk My Brother's Table's giving campaign, Lynn Fire Department receiving grant, COVID vaccine clinic, and more. And on the Lynn Lowdown, we were joined by Selvin Chambers of the Family and Children Resource Center. Here's this week's LCTV News.
This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Columbia Insurance Agency, serving the Lynn community for over 60 years with home, auto, and business insurance.
Yesterday, My Brother's Table launched its giving campaign highlighting My Brother's Table's impact in the community. The giving campaign, which is sponsored by Eastern Bank, Salem 5 Bank, and Institution for Saving Banks, raises money that is needed to help My Brother's Table provide meals for residents. My Brother's Table is providing 3,800 meals per day. Any donations made to the campaign will be matched by Knights of Pythias. Donations can be made by visiting My Brother's Table's website at mybrothersTable.org/FromYourTableToOurs. Since 1982, My Brother's Table's mission has been to nourish the community every day through hospitality, free meals, and unconditional love. Beyond Walls and North Shore Community Development Coalition were recipients of the 2021 Essex Heritage Partnership Grant Program. Beyond Walls and North Shore Community Development were two of the 12 organizations who were recipients of the grant. The recipients will work towards implementing a diverse range of educational, interpretive, and preservation projects throughout the North Shore and Merrimack Valley. The Essex Heritage Partnership Grant Program has been running for 23 years and has invested more than $1.6 million. Lynn Fire Department was awarded a grant of up to $26,000 from the Executive Office of Public Safety and the Department of Fire Services. With this grant, the department will purchase hydraulic rescue tools for the firehouse located on Broadway. The upkeep of equipment is crucial for firefighters to save minutes when trying to save victims. Lynn Fire Department over the last several years have received several grants that has gone towards equipment upkeep and personnel. The Essex County District Attorney's Office has identified the names of the 7 officers who are being investigated for an alleged illegal use of drugs and inappropriate language. The 7 officers are Michael Chalmers, John Clem III, Shane Malissi, Jonathan Mills, Joseph Plasas, Joseph Rucapero, and Dante Vencarali. As of April 15th, the officers have been placed on administrative leave. The District Attorney's investigation also discovered that 2 officers used racial slurs in a private conversation. Those 2 officers have yet to be identified. Lynn Police Department of Professional Standards Division is investigating the case. We will keep you up to date on this case as more information comes in. Over the weekend, the Cochrona Center hosted a COVID vaccine clinic at Element Healthcare for the Khmer community in Lynn. LCTV was on the scene.
Well, today we have a COVID-19 vaccination for Khmer community here in Lynn. I'm really happy and appreciative for Element Care that allowed me to use this space today. One of the main questions as I do my daily works, people come up to me and ask, they have difficulty do the pre-registered online. So I said, okay, we'll see what we can do, and I came up with the idea of having this clinic without pre-registration. We are to live together. We need to understand and respect one another culture and find ways to live among each other peacefully and improve the city that we live together, which is the city of Lynn. Well, I think the education part from our community have reached out to our elder and they understand why they need to be vaccinated. And the first one was, we did it last Saturday at the Khmer Temple here in Lynn, and that was a testament to the leadership for the Garana Incorporation Center. We were able to put that together at the temple last Saturday. Again, a shout out to Garana leadership for doing that.
As of April 21st, approximately 14,241 residents in the city of Lynn have been partially vaccinated. That's about 14.1% of the community compared to 17.7% statewide. Also, about 27,617 residents in the city of Lynn have been fully vaccinated. The city of Lynn has 27.4% of its residents fully vaccinated, while statewide 30% of residents have been vaccinated. LCTV, in collaboration with Lynn Community Health Center, put together a PSA to inform residents on the importance of getting vaccinated. Here's the COVID vaccine PSA.
My name is Dr. Kelly Holland, and I'm a family physician at the Lynn Community Health Center. And I am recommending that you get your vaccine against COVID-19. This vaccine is very safe and effective. There are 3 different types of vaccine. All of them are very good at preventing serious illness, hospitalization, and death. I myself have received the vaccine and would never ask you to get something for yourself that I wouldn't put in myself and my own family. We are offering the vaccine through the Lynn Community Health Center at the Lynn Tech Gymnasium. To make your appointment, you can use our website, lchcnet.org, and follow the steps that way. Or you can use this special vaccine phone number of 781-595-7747. Everybody older than age 18 is eligible in Massachusetts, and between 16 and 17 for the Pfizer vaccine. Please keep your community safe, wear your mask, and get your vaccine.
LCTV will be providing more COVID PSAs in multiple languages. Be sure to visit the LCTV website for those PSAs. During Tuesday's City Council subcommittee meetings, Lynn English High seniors Carlos Prudencia and Damiani Garrido presented their case on having a Black Lives Matter mural in the city. Here's more from the meeting.
Thank you, Councilor Starbuck.
Good afternoon. My name is Damiani. I am a senior at Lynn English High School, and I'm co-founder of One Lynn, One Love.
Hi, everyone. I'm Carlos. I'm also a senior at Lynn English High School, and I'm the other co-founder of One Lynn, One Love.
First, we want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to present. It is an honor to receive your time and your patience. We also want to thank everyone who is watching from home. Why a Black Lives Matter mural, and why this location? This is a statement from the city of Lynn, expressing their solidarity to the Black community. This mural will unify us during all the tragedies that we have gone through, not only in the last year, but our whole lives. The mural being on Exit Street to City Hall Square would be in the middle of 3 institutions that have historically affected the lives of Black people. On March 30th, 2021, Lynn City Solicitor wrote a memo in response of the government speech doctrine where it recited, recent judicial decisions suggest that the City of Lynn possesses discretion as set forward formally and adopts certain messaging and imageries upon public ways as a form of government support in speech without limiting its ability to deny future requests from members of the public.
To watch the full meeting, visit the LCTV website. Now for the sports update. Lynn Classical soccer team came up short yesterday at Manning Field against Malden as they lost a tough 3-2 GBL matchup. After Malden's Nicholas Tix Road gave Malden a 1-0 lead after a steal and score, the Rams' Elzone Halimi tied things up at 1 on a penalty kick. Aman Shetri gave Malden back the lead on a free kick. Halimi would answer back to tie things back up at 2. Malden would break the 2-2 tie with a goal from Esteban Ventura. The Rams, now 1-5 on the season, will look to get their first win in conference play on Tuesday against crosstown rival Lynn English. It was a tough season opener last Friday for Lynn Classical football program against Revere. The Rams in their home opener were shut out by Revere 18-0. Revere's Calvin Bordeaux gave the Rams defense fits as he threw for 176 yards and a touchdown. The Patriots also got a good game on the ground as running backs Adateo Adabi and Billy Byrne Gennaro combined for 119 yards on the ground and a touchdown. The Rams are back on the field tonight as they travel to Medford. The Lynn English Bulldogs got off to a hot start against Everett, but the Crimson's athleticism and physicality were too much for the Bulldogs in their 42-12 defeat. Jesse Maggs got English on the board first with a 1-yard touchdown after DJ Braithwaite intercepted Everett. It was all Everett after that as the Crimson scored 6 straight touchdowns to take a commanding lead. The Bulldogs look to get their first win tonight in their home opener against Revere. Kickoff is set for 6 p.m. The Lynn English boys soccer team suffered a tough 5-2 loss to Somerville earlier this week. The Bulldogs were down 4-0 in the first half and were playing catch-up the entire second half. They'll look to bounce back Tuesday when they take on Lynn Classical. The North Shore Generals have added 4 pitchers to their 2021 roster. Austin Amaro and Dylan Brazil of Stetson University and Cedric Gillette and Justin Budara of Merrimack College. Gillette, who hails from Andover, Mass., is one of the top pitchers in the North Shore. Last year for the Navs, he went 3-1 with a 3.7 ERA. Butera, a sophomore pitcher who has been the reliever for the past 2 seasons for Merrimack, in 5 of his 12 appearances, he's recorded a save. Austin Amaral, in his first collegiate season, struck out 6 batters and allowed only a single hit in his first 7 innings on the mound. The DeBary, Florida native, in his senior year of high school, struck out 15 batters in a shortened season. Brazil, who also hails from Florida, is known for his outstanding fastball. Brazil has also appeared in 10 games during his freshman season at Stetson. The Navigators kick off their season on June 4th. The Boston Celtics ended a 3-game losing streak Wednesday night as they defeated the Charlotte Hornets 120-111 at TD Garden. The C's 2 All-Stars came up big in this one as Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown each went over 30 points. Tatum, who missed the previous game, had a game-high 35 points to go along with 8 rebounds and 8 assists. Brown led all scorers with 38 points. Brown also knocked down 7 3-pointers for the C's, who are now 33 and 30 on the season. The Celtics hold a half-game lead over the Miami Heat for the 6th seed in the East playoffs and are a game behind 5th-place Atlanta Hawks. The Green Team are back on the court tonight as they host the San Antonio Spurs. Tip-off is set for 7:30 p.m. The Boston Bruins defeated the Buffalo Sabres last night 5-2 to move to 19-14-6 on the season and are inching closer to clinching a playoff spot. David Pasternak got things going in the first quarter as he took Patrice Bergeron's assist and knocked it through the net. The teams went back and forth until Charlie Coyle broke the 2-2 tie with an unassisted goal to give the Bruins the 3-2 lead. Taylor Hall and Brad Marchand scored late in the third to put the game away. The Bruins and Sabres are back on the ice this Saturday afternoon. Puck drops at 1 p.m. The Boston Red Sox lost a tough one to the Texas Rangers last night in a 4-1 game. The bats for the Sox were cold as they only managed 3 hits. Adolis Garcia's sacrifice fly brought in the first run of the game in the 4th inning. Rafael Devers doubled in the 6th would tie things up at 1 apiece, but the Rangers will respond with a 2-run homer from Jose Trevino to take a 3-1 lead. In the bottom of the 7th, Isaiah Khan-Falafa's solo homer made it a 4-1 game. Kyle Gibson had a strong outing on the mound as he went 6 innings and struck out 4 batters. The two teams play again tonight. First pitch is set for 8:05 p.m. The NFL draft began yesterday, and the New England Patriots have added a new quarterback to their roster. With the 15th pick, the Patriots picked former University of Alabama quarterback Mac Jones. Jones, who led the Crimson to the national title in his last season at Alabama, passed for 4,500 yards and threw for 41 touchdowns and only threw 4 interceptions. The Patriots will look for Jones to be their quarterback of the future as they brought back Cam Newton on a 1-year deal. On this week's Lynn Lowdown, we were joined by Selvin Chambers of the Family and Resource Center. Here is this week's Lowdown. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Lynn Lowdown, and today we are joined by Executive Director of Family and Children Resources, Mr. Selvin Chambers. How are you doing?
I'm doing good today. Hope you're doing well, and I'm excited to be here and leading this great organization.
Definitely. Well, we are glad that you are here to just talk about your new position. Talk about your journey and just talk about this new role for you. What was your feeling towards when you got this new role?
Well, my journey in this, I've been working in the nonprofit arena for almost a little over 25 years. And my life's passion is really helping and serving other people. So when this opportunity presented itself, the mission of the organization really fit within my palette and also my moral compass in supporting other people, and the fact that we're supporting youth and families in Lynn and the greater Lynn community, I thought that was more than appropriate for the best place for me to kind of help lend my skill sets to move this 130 some odd year organization forward and into the future.
Can you talk about why nonprofits are so important? Because there's so many nonprofits help so many residents in areas like Lynn and just low-income areas or diverse areas. Nonprofits are a big hit with the people as far as need and as far as assistance. Can you just talk about the importance of nonprofits?
Well, nonprofits are really part of the social fabric in this country in general. And I think they were established to make sure that they were able to support the community, in particular for people that really were on, in most cases, the lower economic end of the scale, to find a better pathway for them to kind of maneuver in society. And so the nonprofit arena really plays a major impact in supporting communities in all kinds of communities across the country.
Mm-hmm. And in all your works in nonprofits, what is the most gratifying things for you in all your years of being part of a nonprofit?
I think the thing that's most gratifying is when you see the social impact, right? Mm-hmm. There's the work, right? I'm supporting the people, but for me, it's the impact. What do people achieve when they have gone through your organization and came to gain some skill sets or to be supported? And looking at what happens when they no longer need your services, that's for me is looking at the social impact. Are people improving the quality of their life? And so when you see that and you see young people and you see adults achieve because you help provide that opportunity for them, that's the impact that I'm talking about. So I get really excited when I see the actual impact that happens when people are supported by nonprofits.
Yeah, definitely. Now You've been in this role for about a month and some change or so?
I've been in this role for about 4.5 weeks.
So we'll just say a month. What drew you to the Family and Children Resources Census first?
Well, when you look at the makeup of the community in itself, it's a diverse community. When you look at the mission of the organization to really help, as it talks about in its mission, support youth and families and provide services and support systems for them, that's what really drew me to the organization. And the longstanding history of the organization drew me to it as well. And when I look at it, it's a microcosm of the community I grew up in Cambridge and in a very diverse community. So that's one of the things that attracted me.
Now, what are some things that you're planning on working on as you get more familiar with the position, more familiar with the community? What are some things that you're hoping to get going as you embark on this role?
Well, first and foremost is I want to keep my finger on the pulse of the community. So really attending community meetings, meeting with community partners to really get a general understanding what are the needs that are here in Lynn, in the greater Lynn area, and seeing how our organization can impact that, and really focus on the quality improvement of our programs and our broadening our reach. How do we develop a brand identity for the work that we're doing so it has another 130 years to sustain itself in the Lynn community? And so for me, it's just really learning about what the needs are and learning the community in itself. Definitely.
And coming off such a crazy 2020 year, and what are some of the things that they've told you that they've had to deal with from the pandemic that's kind of carried over into this year?
Well, I think, like every organization, we had to learn how to pivot, right? Mm-hmm. So you go from doing in-person engagement to now having to figure out how do you communicate people in a safe environment, knowing that they're required to practice social distancing. And similar to schools, we had to shut down our facilities, but not stop doing our work. Mm-hmm. And so we still have case managers who are going out, working with families and working with people. We still have staff members who are still working with teens, but we just had to figure out how to do the work differently. And I think that's no different than any other organization that had to figure out the work has to continue, but how do you pivot and how do you readjust what you're doing to accomplish your goals and also still support people? And I think it was hard, but I think there were some good lessons that were learned through this hard 2020, mm-hmm. which was a very hard year for all of us.
Definitely. Did you find it that the caseworkers had the adjustment for the caseworkers, because it's so hands-on and the interpersonnel connection and just the face-to-face meeting, was that an adjustment for them because that they couldn't be face-to-face because so much of their job is interacting face-to-face with their clients?
Yes, and talking to some of the staff, that was a big hindrance, but it was an organizational shift. But the same way the staff had to shift, you had to really work with the clients to get them to think in a different mindset, because a lot of them wanted to be in person. Mm-hmm. So again, how do we have Zoom meetings and Zoom visits, and how do we have some in-person visits that are at, socially distanced? And I think it was really getting the people to help navigate both the technology to do that, but also the general understanding, how do we still support that need of the human touch? So it's phone calls, it's getting on your computer or your iPad, and then occasionally it's rolling up to someone's house and standing 20 feet away from them and having a conversation. And so I think it was really teaching the populations that we work with to really figure out how can you still get those services, those service needs met, but do it in a very different way. Mm-hmm. But I think it just took a little bit of a cultural shift, mm-hmm. and getting to show people how this can still happen in a way, in a climate that we're in now.
Yeah, definitely. And as we're gearing towards getting back to normalcy a little bit, folks are getting vaccinated. There's a vaccine clinic in Lynn, people getting vaccinated, and also there was an announcement by the mayor that August 1st is kind of a target date for businesses and organizations to start having folks come back into the office, into the work areas, and just into certain things. So as we're heading towards that, how are you all going to be able to operate as far as allowing people to come into your facility? How are you guys going to work that out as far as bringing back people?
Interestingly enough, we just had a brief conversation about, transitioning back into the office. So over the next 3 weeks, we're actually going to be developing a transition plan. And before we develop that transition plan, we want to make sure we're getting as much feedback as possible from our community partners, from our staff, and from the constituents that we serve, and understanding that we want to make sure that we're following the state guidelines. And so we're going to take all that information into consideration and have a strategy and a rollout plan that allows people to feel safe. But before people come back in the office, we want to make sure that we're making an informed decision and we're getting as much feedback from both the staff and the population that we serve to make sure that we're meeting the needs and people feel safe coming back into the facilities. And I think it's just the right thing to do.
Yeah, definitely. And as far as donation-wise, if people still want to donate stuff to you all, are they able to drop them off, or is it folks could pick? Are you guys sending folks to pick items up, or how's that?
Yes, the people can make some donations by going to our website, or they can stop by the office. We have a mail drop box, and so we've seen an increase in donations and support. And I think most organizations that have seen that realize that because of the pandemic, people are giving and showing a little bit more empathy for people as well, as they always have. But I think the pandemic has really kind of pushed people's desire to want to be even more helpful to organizations such as ours.
Yeah, definitely. And was there any requests, or did you guys notice anything more being requested by residents as far as just like items or just some type of resources? Was there any requests for certain things that you guys seen more of?
Well, I believe it or not, I call it the diaper crisis, but I was listening to the staff that they had to do a diaper drive, right? Diapers are, I think it's $90 a month for one child. That's pretty expensive. And so I know that they did do a diaper drive to provide more of those resources for families. We've given out gift cards for food for families as well. And so we've seen an increase in that for people to want to, be able to support their families and feed their families. So there were increases in that area as well.
Is there any specific things that you guys are working on for the summer? Any type of program or events or anything, either virtual or in person? Is there something that's in the works right now for the summertime?
Well, we are working on our summer youth employment program, and there were some conversations today about that. I think this summer we'll be employing, I think it's 28 youth this summer. So really planning for that program, and also taking the social distancing and also the state guidelines into consideration for that particular program. And it's just really doing the work a little bit differently. So there were meetings today talking about the summer program for youth. All
right. Mr. Chambers, please let them know if they want to know anything about the Family Resource Center. Please give them the website, a phone number, who to call, just all the information.
I will give you our telephone number. It's 781-598-5517. If you want to come volunteer, if you want to learn some more information, please feel free to stop by or call, because we do answer the door. We just don't let everybody come in, and we will talk to you at a safe distance. And we're hoping that we'll have an opportunity to be fully opened at some point within the next 8 months, but who knows? It's we got to look at the state's guidelines, but I think it will be much sooner than that. But when I say 8 months, I'm talking about fully blown, where people can move a little bit freer than we have been moving in the past year. But we are working on a plan for us to open within reason for the next several months or so.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Mr. Selvin Chambers of the Family and Children Resource Center. We want to thank him for coming on and giving us all that information, and be sure to visit him, give him a call, send him an email, visit their website as well. They got a lot of stuff going on, and we just want to thank you once again for coming on.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate you.
No problem. You guys have been watching the Lynn Lowdown. I'm your host, Mukala Kabongo. Have a great day. Now time for upcoming local events. This Saturday from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m., Lynn Community Health Center will be hosting its mobile vaccine clinic and mobile market in the parking lot of Buffum Street. No appointment is needed for residents who are interested in receiving a vaccine. The mobile market is free and offers market-style distribution of fresh fruits and vegetables. Ward 6 community cleanup will also be taking place this Saturday from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. at Iglesia de Dios de la Provincia on Elmwood Ave. The cleanup is part of a series of cleanups sponsored by community leaders and city officials. Also happening on Saturday is the May Day Radio and Caravan hosted by the New Lynn Coalition. The caravan, which begins at 3 p.m., was organized with the intent to demand a stop in outsourcing jobs, protest against ICE, housing for all, and health care for all. On Sunday from 2 p.m. until 3 p.m., a community cleanup will take place at Flax Pond and Magnolia Park. Residents who are interested in volunteering for the cleanup are required to wear their masks and maintain social distance. The Salvation Army Food Pantry will be taking place from Tuesday through Friday from 12 p.m. until 3 p.m. at Manning Field. Residents who are from Lynn, Linfield, Nahant, Swampscott, and Saugus are required to bring proof of address. For more information on the food pantry, visit the Salvation Army website at salvationarmy.org/Lynn. On Wednesday, May 5th at 6:30 p.m., the City of Lynn, in collaboration with Lynn Community Health Center, Mass General, and Salem Hospital, will be holding a COVID-19 virtual town hall to provide residents with information related to the COVID vaccine. The following day, at the same time, the Spanish town hall will take place. LCTV will re-air the town hall at a later date and time. On Thursday, May 6th, Ward 2 Councilor Rick Starbird, along with the Silverbacks football, will be hosting a community cleanup at Keeney Park from 5:30 until 6:30 p.m. Any organization that is interested in helping out with the cleanup should contact John Ray at 781-346-7331. The Pickering Middle School Drama Club will be putting together a virtual play today and Sunday at 5 p.m. To watch the play, scan the QR code that can be found on the LCTV page. Thank you for watching the LCTV News. Make sure to subscribe to the LCTV Facebook page and also subscribe to the LCTV YouTube channel. Also visit the LCTV website to watch any show at any time on your computer, phone, or tablet. I'm Mukala Kabongo. Have a great day.
This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Columbia Insurance Agency, serving the Lynn community for over 60 years with home, auto, and business insurance.